Alrighty, I think we're back here, so let's do this real quick. College Basketball Weekly Review, Episode 4. It's finally time for Conference USA's bonus play, the most innovative thing that came from this past off-season was Conference USA's innovative, well, not really innovative idea, but it is a very interesting idea. If I could get the volume on my TV to go down. It's not going down. There we go. I don't want to hear that in the way. But the most innovative thing from the off season has started. As far as who's going to the tournament and whatnot, who's built a good enough net ranking and whatnot, that is really this thing. I said it last night in the tweet, and you can go follow me on Twitter. It's in my About section in my channel. And I said last night that that this kind of thing just isn't going to go over too well. It really boils down to scheduling better teams in the non-conference play. That's really what this boils down to, because Conference USA as a league is not really that good. It hasn't been good for a while, and the glut of bad teams who keep scheduling bad, keep playing bad, and teams that actually are good keep underperforming, like late in the season and in these tournaments. It's really not good for them. It's just not good publicity. Well, honestly, if it were me, I'd just be like, hey, Commissioner, Judy McLeod, presidents, ADs, go to a 20-game schedule. Just do that. And have every team qualify for the damn tournament, or at least don't put bad teams. Don't put really bad teams in the tournament or in the conference tournament anyway. Don't do that at all. But it's whatever. I personally don't care for it. I think the Sun Belt is doing the same thing, but I don't think so. At the same time, I don't really know. I'd rather just have most conferences that can, because of their size, go to a 20-game schedule. Like Big 12 obviously can't. The Big East can't, because there's only 10 teams. In those two conferences. Speaking of the Big 12, it's still a little wild out there. As of right now, man, let me tell you, we could be sending 8 teams to the tournament, to the NCAA tournament, and Kansas still, while they are down right now, they still technically win the regular season title again. Kansas State lost yesterday, and and Kansas did win, so that's all good and dandy. As far as my Texas Longhorns go, we did good yesterday against Oklahoma State. Honestly, the real glut of things is coming from, the ACC right now. The real glut of things, as far as storylines go, and the SEC too. Storylines go, it's really the ACC and the SEC. So it's been pretty damn good in the ACC right now. You got Virginia, you got Duke, you got Louisville, you got North Carolina, and other teams that are right in the mix of things, But Virginia lost twice to Duke. And then they just, they did better this week. Not a good game against, not a great game against Notre Dame this past Saturday, but they did their work. They got the W, and now the race is solely focused on them, Duke, and North Carolina, and Louisville. it's gonna be interesting to see how these last couple of weeks play out. And as far as Duke goes, Duke is probably the new number one. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But Duke played good yesterday, beat NC State pretty handily. Wasn't really too much of a surprise there. North Carolina, as I said, they did lose to Virginia. I think it was Monday night that they lost to Virginia, but that they rebounded. At Louisville, they've been a little bit of a rut lately, but they got themselves back together. Picked up a nice couple of wins. Now, the SEC, it's a different story. It's been about Tennessee all season long. It's been about Tennessee since November, since Thanksgiving at least, to where, Tennessee was just racking up win after win after win, and Kentucky just came in. John those guys, John Calipari and those guys, those Kentucky boys, came on there and just blew the brakes off of Tennessee. It was a rough showing, and I wonder, it may be time. We may be looking at the Kentucky that could be going some places. They've been doing very well these past couple of weeks, and I applaud Kentucky for getting their act together. Tennessee, yeah, tough loss, but hey, you guys still doing good. LSU is starting to creep up in there as well, which is surprising. You don't really hear LSU basketball and scream, "Oh, wow, well, that's a really good team." But they are. I haven't watched a game with them yet either, but hopefully, things go well for them and everything. There's going to be a lot of glutton as far as teams that come from the power conferences getting in, and the bubble, and teams that should be in and whatnot. It's going to be a long process for right now. There's a lot of teams that I could talk about, but I don't really have time to talk about, or I just haven't watched them. Kind of like Marquette and Villanova, those two teams, they're probably in, but I haven't seen much of them because the storylines and everything, the narrative of college basketball right now just hasn't been focused on them. And it's a damn shame that Marcus Howard and, Villanova, how they've improved after, what happened during the non-conference portion, really just kind of threw the Big East in a loop. And the Pac-12 is the same wacky Pac-12 as always. There's probably going to be, we may have two teams in now, maybe Washington, Arizona State, but the rest of the conference is looking pretty bad right now. It's beating each other up, and those non-conference losses and stuff that don't look too good are still creeping up onto these better teams by the day. The only two teams that most people are saying are going to make it is Arizona State and Washington. Those two teams, do we really have anything on them? Are they really going to go for it? I don't think so. That's how little I pay attention to Pac-12 basketball. That's how little anybody pays attention to Pac-12 basketball. Same thing goes with Gonzaga right now. They're still one of the best teams in the country. That's obvious. But it's hard to pay attention to Gonzaga when, there's nothing really for them to do right now. They don't really have much left once the non-conference schedule is over, And, beating up on the West Coast Conference is great and all, but, it goes to show you just how good of a team that Gonzaga is, and just how good they are, and how I don't really how coordinated that Mark Few has done out there, despite all the injuries and stuff. They've had a lot of injuries to their best players, but Gonzaga will probably be a 1 seed anyway, so there's nothing really to worry about. One final thing I've got, I want to say it was, oh yeah, so about that little thing that happened, during the week with the officials and the whole Kentucky LSU game finish, that was a little bit weird. You gotta hold some accountability for refs like that. Don't you just hate it when a ref ball ruins the game? It really sucks, and you just don't want that kind of thing to happen, but it happens, and we just got to deal with it. Next week, I want to say, well, technically, it's already next week, but, today's Sunday. This is really, when the season kind of just, or rather when weeks kind of just go by, Monday to Sunday type thing in college basketball or whatever, but that's not the point. There's not as far as I know, there might be a lot of things going on, there might not be. It really depends. I'll have to check the schedules and stuff, but I do know that for the last time anyway, until the ACC network launches, it'll be Duke and North Carolina, ESPN, and Raycom. We'll do something about that, and I might just say something about that game. Who knows? It's just the way the narrative has been. It's been Duke all year long, pretty much. So, yeah, that's all I've got. I wish I had more to say, but I've been upset at the team that I live near, the University of North Texas, how they just kind of squandered things, not getting into the Group 1 pod. Should more conferences adopt this pod system? I do not know. I doubt it. It's not looking too good for Conference USA. That's really what I wanted to say. It's not looking good at all. With that being said, everybody, I've got nothing else to say. I'm going to continue uploading videos throughout the weeks and whatnot, leading up to March Madness. Yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to be fine. I might talk about the bubble more in depth or something, but it's been hard trying to keep up with college basketball this year. I've been really trying to keep up with it more in the past, but it just hasn't worked out like that. So with that being said, big boy out. I'll see you guys next time in another video.